Good day, everybody. Today is Friday. Thank goodness it is Friday as we enter into another weekend, readying ourselves for the gift of the resurrection. Here in Sydney, it is supposed to be cold and blustery and snowy, which is, again, I think for the most part pretty welcomed because we need some moisture so desperately here. And it is good to clean out the air from the ravaging forest fires in Colorado and wherever else. But it reminds us too of our dependency on God, how we really believe and we really trust that it is God who gives us what we need at the most opportune times. Today, the Liturgy of the Word is exceptionally powerful in the sense that what it does is that it tells us as to who we are as Catholic Christians and what we must become, how we must live. I want to refer to the letter of St. Paul to the Ephesians. And so therefore I read and I pray. Brothers and sisters, I, a prisoner for the Lord, urge you to live in a manner worthy of the call you have received, with all humility and gentleness, with patience, bearing with one another through love, striving to preserve the unity of the Spirit through the bond of peace, one body and one Spirit, as you were also called to the one hope of your call, one Lord, one faith, one baptism, one God and Father of all, who is over all and through all and in all. We live in a world that is in so many ways divided. Therefore, Paul, in his letter to the Ephesians, tells us what we must do to bring forth a new harmony, a new unity. One way, I believe, is by way of reconciliation. When we think of reconciliation, we think, yes, of course, being reconciled to the other. But in reconciliation, we also come to really see the opportunity to stand in somebody else's place, to view the world as he or she views the world. That sets up, I believe, for a real collaboration, which in turn sets up for a real unity. We do not always have to agree with one another. We do not always have to approve of one another. But what we need to do is to, I believe, find the common ground in which reconciliation seeks and allow us to be present to one another and to listen to one another so that we consider not only ourselves but the common good as essential for the betterment of our lives and the betterment of the world. Let us again, as we enter into November, to pray for a unity in our world and in our lives, that barriers and divisions may be in some way torn down, and that we may once again open our hearts to one another in that spirit that St. Paul speaks to us in his letter to the Ephesians, so that we may be one as our God and one with one another. Make it a great weekend, and again, continue to pray for one another as the Lord invites us to live a life worthy of the call that we all have received. Take care.